It began, not with a declaration of war, but with a ledger, a balance sheet of cattle and land scrawled in Berlin's cold ministries. A promise of empire, sealed in the blood of a people who had grazed these plains since the dawn of memory. Namibia, once the land of the Damara, the San, the Herero, and the Nama, a vast expanse of savanna and desert, where the Waterberg Plateau rose like the spine of a sleeping giant, and the Kalahari's dunes shimmered with ancient secrets. Herero pastoralists drove herds of long-horned cattle across grasslands that sustained them for generations. Nama clans, masters of the arid south, navigated by starlight and song. Their world was one of rhythm, the lowing of oxen at dawn, the click of Nama tongues around evening fires, the sacred fire of the Herero holy graves. But from across the ocean came iron rails, surveyors' chains, and men who measured worth in hectares and head counts. The scramble had carved Africa into European appetites. At Berlin, Germany claimed a slice of the southwest, a land they dubbed Deutsch Südwestafrika, not for its people, but for its promise. Diamonds glinting in the sands near Luderitz, copper veins in the Otavi Mountains, and above all, fertile plains for white settlers to ranch. The Reich, late to the colonial table, hungered for Lebensraum, living space, to rival Britain's Cape Colony. Adolf Luderitz, a Bremen merchant, bought coastal strips from Nama captains in 1883 for 200 rifles and $100 in gold. Treaties followed, inked in languages the signers could not read, ceding vast tracts for trinkets. By 1890, the Schutztruppe, Germany's colonial force, marched in, 2,000 troops in crisp uniforms, Mauser rifles gleaming, under Governor Theodor Leutwein. His mission, pacify, settle, profit. The Herero, proud cattle lords under Paramount Chief Samuel Maharero, watched their grazing lands shrink. Missionaries, Rheinische evangelists, brought Bibles and borders. Fences of barbed wire, imported from Kaiser Wilhelm's factories, sliced ancestral roots. Settlers like the von Francois brothers seized wells, poisoned water holes with arsenic to drive off herds. Debts mounted. Herero chiefs borrowed from German traders at usurious rates, pledging cattle as collateral. When payments faltered, courts in Windhoek, staffed by German judges, foreclosed. By 1903, Herero land had shrunk by a third. 50,000 cattle were in settler hands. Resentment simmered like heat haze. In January 1904, it boiled over. Herero youth, goaded by elders, attacked isolated farms near Okahanja. Settlers, men, women, children, fell to assegais and captured rifles. Over 120 Germans died in days. Not rape, not indiscriminate slaughter. Herero codes spared women, children, and missionaries. But to Berlin, it was rebellion, an affront to Aryan order. Kaiser Wilhelm II dispatched General Lothar von Trotha, a veteran of the Boxer Rebellion, architect of China's scorched earth reprisals. His orders, wired from Berlin, crush the uprising by all means. On June 11, 1904, von Trotha landed with 15,000 troops, Krupp cannons, and a doctrine of Rassenkrieg, race war. Von Trotha's plan was annihilation. In August 1904, he encircled 50,000 Herero, warriors, women, children, elders, 60,000 cattle, at Waterberg. Herero fighters, armed with 3,000 rifles and ancestral courage, held ridges. For days, cannon fire thundered, Mausers cracked. Herero marksmen, trained by Boer allies, picked off officers, but numbers told. On August 11th, von Trotha ordered the encirclement tightened. Herero broke east toward the Omaheke, the waterless sands of the Kalahari. What followed was no retreat, it was extermination. On October 2, 1904, von Trotha issued the Vernichtungsbefehl, the extermination order. Within the German borders, every Herero, with or without a gun, with or without cattle, will be shot. I will no longer accept women and children, but will drive them back to their people or have them fired upon. Signed in his own hand, distributed to every outpost, a death sentence for an entire nation. Schutztruppe sealed the Omaheke's edge. Patrols on camels, imported from Arabia, hunted survivors, wells poisoned with cyanide. Herero families, parched and starving, stumbled into machine gun nests. Bodies littered the sand, vultures circling. One survivor, Jan Bartman, later testified, "We had no water for 3 days. The children cried until their voices cracked. Then the Germans came, shooting from horseback. My wife fell first. I carried my son until his weight became too much." Of 80,000 Herero in 1904, perhaps 15,000 survived by 1908, hiding in caves, fleeing to Botswana, or enslaved in labor camps. Cattle herds, the heart of Herero identity, were looted. 50,000 head driven to German farms. The South stirred. Hendrik Witbooi, the Nama captain who had once allied with Germany against the Herero, saw the writing in blood. In October 1904, he tore up his treaty. "The Germans mean to kill us all," he declared. Nama clans, Witbooi, Bondelswarts, Fransman, rose in guerrilla war, hit-and-run raids on rail lines, ambushes in rocky koppies. Cornelius, Witboi's son, led 500 riders like desert phantoms. Von Trotha turned south. In 1905, he cornered Witbooi at Valgras. The old captain, 75, fought to the last bullet, dying in his saddle. His people scattered. Nama survivors, 10,000 of 20,000, were hunted into the Kalahari's furnaces. The Reich pioneered a new horror, concentration camps. From 1905, Herero and Nama captives, 17,000 at peak, were herded into 5 camps. Worst was Shark Island, a wind-lashed peninsula near Luderitz. No shelter, no blankets. Prisoners, men, women, children, chained in open pens, fed rice infested with worms. Temperatures plummeted to freezing at night, days scorched. Labor, hauling stones for railways, building harbors for diamond ships. Whips of sharkskin flayed backs. Rape was routine, children born of it, killed or enslaved. Dr. Eugen Fischer, a young anthropologist, arrived in 1906. He measured skulls with calipers, injected dyes into eyes, photographed specimens. His research on Herero and Nama prisoners birthed Nazi racial science. Fischer's assistant, Josef Mengele's future mentor, took notes that would echo in Auschwitz. Death rates 50% in months. Shark Island's ledger records 1,032 deaths in 1906 alone. Starvation, scurvy, typhus, beatings. Bodies dumped in shallows. Sharks earned the island's name. One survivor, Abraham Morris, recalled, "We were skeletons with skin. The guards laughed when we fell. Arbeit macht frei," they joked, years before Dachau. The world learned in fragments. Missionaries, Catholic fathers, Lutheran pastors, smuggled reports. August Kuhlmann, a German settler turned whistleblower, wrote, "I have seen things that make me ashamed to be human." In 1906, the socialist Reichstag deputy August Bebel thundered against Hunnish methods in parliament. But Kaiser Wilhelm decorated von Trotha with the Pour le Mérite. Britain, Germany's rival, seized the moment. In 1918, after seizing Namibia in World War I, they published the Blue Book, a dossier of horrors. Testimonies, photos, death tallies. It branded Germany's genocide a crime against civilization. Erased in 1926 under Weimar pressure, the truth resurfaced in the 1980s thanks to Namibian exiles. Historians now call it the 20th century's first genocide. Not spontaneous, but systematic. Intent: destroy the Herero and Nama as peoples. Methods: mass killing, death marches, camps, starvation, sterilization experiments. Precedents for the Holocaust: Fischer's students staffed Nazi race institutes. Von Trotha's officers trained Himmler's SS. The toll: Herero reduced from 80,000 to 15,000. Nama from 20,000 to 9,000. San hunters caught in the crossfire nearly vanished. Land seized, 90% of commercial farmland in German hands by 1913. Diamonds discovered in 1908 near Luderitz, the Sperrgebiet, sealed Namibia's fate as a resource colony. Namibia won independence in 1990, but the scars remain. Herero and Nama descendants, 100,000 strong, demand reparations. Germany acknowledged the genocide in 2015, pledged $1.1 billion in development aid in 2021, but refused legal reparations. Skulls, stolen for science, were returned in 2011 and 2018, 50 from Berlin's Charité Hospital alone. Yet memory endures. Every August, Herero marched to Okahanja in red-trimmed Victorian gowns, a tradition born in captivity, now defiance. Nama keep Witboy's Bible, its margins filled with songs of survival. The San reclaim dunes their ancestors hunted. Namibia rises. Windhoek streets pulse with Oshiwambo, Ochi Herero, Kuku. Diamonds fund schools, not Berlin banks. The genocide's lesson: land is life. Communal farms return to Herero hands. Nama co-ops mine tourmaline sustainably. The Kalahari's whispers are no longer of death, but of rebirth. Von Trotha's statue was melted in 1918. His name curses the wind, but the Herero and Nama endure. Their cattle bells a defiant chorus across the plains. It began with a ledger, and it ends with a reckoning. If you're enjoying the journey so far, please hit that subscribe button to follow along. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.